Welcome to Big Life Moms. I'm Sarah Allen, the host of this wonderful podcast. I am a mom of 2 young kiddos, and I am a local realtor in the Quad Cities at Glow Realty. You can find me on Instagram at Sarah Allen Realtor. And if you like the content that I have there, make sure to give it a like. You can also find the podcast on Instagram and Facebook too, but we will get more into that as this episode continues. Okay, so back to the podcast. This is something I've wanted to start for a very long time, and I didn't think I would do it because all the negative energy was coming into my mind. It was, no one's going to listen to it. You wouldn't have enough to say. Nobody would come on your show. And so I finally just sat down and said, Sarah, either do it or don't do it at all. So here we are. First episode. I bucked up and I did it, and it's very nerve-wracking, and you can probably tell I'm nervous, but we're going to get through it together. That's what Big Life Moms is all about. So you might be thinking there is a lot between Sarah, I want to start a podcast, and here's our first episode. And there is so much planning and overthinking and scripting and a lot of doubt and comparison, which is something I have been dealing with a lot lately. And sharing that with Stephen and Kim that, hey, I am really nervous to do this because, yes, it's something I've always wanted to do, but I have no idea if I can do it. And I said, you know what? I have to. And again, here we are. So beyond the negative thinking and beyond the planning and all of that stuff, there's the steps of action. And to me, the steps of action is where the nitty-gritty stuff is. That's what really matters, because all of the overthinking and the procrastination and the self-doubt is completely useless if you don't put a plan into action and follow through with it. So I would say that's step one. If you have anything you want to do in your life, make sure you plan for it and you put it into steps of action and you actually execute. So I'm gonna take a step back because this episode was going to be about what this podcast is about. Mom's Big Life is about supporting and empowering moms who want to live their biggest life and try to balance it through personal development and growth and the nuances of being a mom and a working mom on top of that. And as you know, that is a struggle. It is a real struggle. And I want this podcast to not only be a source of laughter and connecting with heartfelt stories of other moms who are experiencing the same thing you're experiencing, but I also want you to understand that you have a voice. And this podcast is going to help you find that voice. Whether that's a voice in starting a business or a side hustle or just figuring out how to be a working mom, it's there. And we want you to get that voice and find your individual identity again and live a big life. If you're still not sure if this podcast is for you, I have a couple of questions for you to answer, and I'm going to shoot them off to you. Number one, are you a mom? I think that's a given. Like, are you a mom? Yes or no? Do you own a business, have a side hustle, or have a dream to start one in the future? Do you ever suffer from mom guilt? Side note, yes, and we will be discussing that in a future episode. Do you want to be a part of a community of women who support each other in the big lives they seek for themselves and their families? I think if you said yes to any of those questions, this podcast is probably for you. I also wanted to say congratulations because you have successfully made it through half of this episode. Yes, that is right. These episodes are only going to be about 15 minutes or less, unless there's a guest on the show. I did that because my attention span is very small, being a mom of 2 young kids, and I have to get it to the point. So we're going to be in and out with some really valuable content, and hopefully that is something you're okay with. You can listen to it on your commute, on the way to work, when you're cooking dinner, whatever it is, 15 minutes or less, you're in and out with some great information. Our first guest is going to be announced shortly, and it's a really good guest. I'm super excited for you because she has a wonderful story, and I think you're going to get a lot of power from it, so stay tuned for that. Again, you can join the conversation on our Facebook group. Our Facebook group right now is called Mompreneur Mastermind, and it is private. And I did that because it's full of really strong women who get a little vulnerable and as strong women go, we like to keep that crap private. So the group is private. It's invitation only. But you can go on our Instagram page, which is at Big Life Moms, and you will find snippets of our episodes, just some motivational stuff, and another way to connect with like-minded women. Thank you again for tuning into the first episode of Big Life Moms. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that this idea has been created. I want to thank Stephen Kinsley, owner of The Den, and Kimberly Marsh Photography for letting me use her studio, and to also be big cheerleaders in my ideas. And they're always really wonderful people to bounce ideas off of. So I really have to thank you for that. I would also like to nominate a Mom of the Week. And that mom is my good friend, Kate Hope. She's a mom of 3 beautiful girls, and she is just a kick-ass lady who got her PhD, is living kind of like a dream career that she's always wanted. And she has just raised 3 amazing girls. And every time I see her parent and eat healthy, because she eats really healthy, I'm like, I want to be like Kate. I want to embody Kate. I want to be fit like Kate. I want to teach things to my kids like she does. So that's my Mom of the Week. And if you want to if you want to nominate a new mom, just let me know. You can reach out to me on Instagram and DM me with who that is, and we will put her on the next episode, or at least showcase her in the next one. So if you are excited about this just as much as I am, make sure you subscribe to this, follow us on Instagram, make sure you check us out on YouTube if that's where you're watching it. And again, thanks so much for joining us today.